All right, so since I was a young girl, I've loved music, drama shows, and everything performing. So when I was little, me and my brothers would just like put on like shows for my mum and dad, like we would like sing, dance, and all this sort of thing. So when it comes to musical theatre, there is a lot of work that goes into putting on a single performance. There's many steps, and I just have a video here to show you an example of a show that I deeply love.
To slam on the brake before I even turn the key, before I make the mistake, before I lead with the worst of me. Even no reason to stare, no slipping up if you slip away. So I got nothing to share, no, I got nothing to say. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned. Step out of the sun because you learn. On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? Cause I'm tapping on the glass. I'm waving through a window. I try to speak, but nobody can hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear while I watching people pass. I'm waving through a window. Can anybody see? Is anybody waving back at me? We start with stars in our eyes. We start believing that we belong, but every sun doesn't rise, and no one tells you where you went wrong. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned. Step out of the sun because you learned. On the outside, always looking, will I never be more than I've always been? Cause I'm tapping on the glass, waiting through a window. I try to speak, but nobody can hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear while I watching people pass. Waiting through a window. Can anybody see you? Is anybody waiting? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? Yeah, I even make a sound, yeah, I even make a sound. It's like I never made a sound, but I never make a sound. On the outside, always looking in, will I never be more than I've always been? Cause I'm tapping on the glass, waiting through a window. I try to speak, but nobody can hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear while I watching people pass. Waiting through a window. Can anybody see? Is anybody waiting back at me? Is anybody
So that looked kind of easy. So it was just a bunch of people, on a stage, like singing, facial expressions, and a few silly dance moves. But there's a lot more that goes on besides than just. Oh, sorry, my computer's still there. There's a few steps that go into putting on such a performance like that, and when it comes to musical theatre, there are a lot of steps, but I've basically just combined them down to three. Now, the first step is auditions. Now, when it comes to a performance like that, you need to find someone that is gonna suit the main role, who has like the perfect personality and be able to project their sort of feelings in becoming that character. Now, imagine for obviously we're doing a production of like the Minosaurus. Imagine if we didn't cast for the Manosaurus and Pastor Joel just went out and just pulled random people off the street. Now, for example, hypothetically, if it was like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, my brother who hasn't even been to church ever in his life, Pastor Joel's like, yep, I want him to play Jesus. It would just like, it would not seem right because he, like, he doesn't know who Jesus is. And when it comes to auditions, the people that are auditioning practice what they're auditioning for. Step two, there comes rehearsals. And after the auditions and the casting and that have taken place, we step into rehearsals. And rehearsals are there to help singers and dancers practice their parts. And another sort of example I could put into place is on a Sunday when we do worship and praise and worship, how do you think, praise and worship would be if they didn't rock up like 2.5 hours early to, rehearse and make sure there's an atmosphere? And how I would see is that if they didn't rehearse, I wouldn't believe that there would be an atmosphere. And then step three is showtime. And then, but although it seems that showtime is like, yeah, we're gonna head straight into it, we're gonna, put on an awesome show. But when it comes to the day of the show and the performance, there's been many days and weeks of rehearsing to put the good performance onto the audience. Although it's performance day, there are still things that they need to do on the day. Firstly, there's sound check, obviously, like for like hypothetically for youth ministry, before we start practicing for praise and worship, we do sound check to make sure we can hear everyone perfectly in our ears and that it all sounds right in the audience. Secondly, they warm up and make sure that none of the dancers and the singers like strain any muscles or their vocal cords. And thirdly, we prepare ourselves for the show. Like, is there any sort of tweaks that we need to put on? Is there any sort of costume changes? Any lines that need to be changed? And so there's a lot that goes on in musical theatre, and that is one of the many performances of amazing musical shows that I have loved growing up and watching. And yeah, so this has been like, just a little step to show you what goes on in musical theatre. So yeah, that's been. Thank you.